Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We're so glad you're joining us for another episode of Evolving You, where we encourage you to embrace your next ram. I'm Danielle.
I'm Cardell.
Guess what? We got new words for 2023. We are flushed with happiness that you are joining us for another, I was about to say rendition. That's a real old school church. With another episode. We're going to get it together. We're so excited because we are once again together. Mm-hmm. We're not separated by the digital world. So we are like, I don't know, I'm feeling this energy. You don't feel like you're feeling it. Okay.
I'm feeling it. It's different because it's like we've never literally, since we started the podcast, we've never been in the same room to do a podcast.
Right.
So this is very different to actually sit down and be like, we doing this for real.
I definitely invaded your space, but
just a little bit.
That's what siblings do.
Yeah, so.
Ooh, that pushed me out the way. You know what? You've been hating all weekend. Anyway, we are going to talk about faith and favor because on our last episode, we gave you the word for 2023. And Cardell blessed us with the words of faith and favor because we're walking into our 5th year of business, and applause go right there because a lot of businesses didn't make it, but we thank God that he showed us favor because of our faithfulness. So we're going to talk about what faith and favor looks like in 2023 and how you can use it and apply it to your personal and professional life. So I'm going to let Cardell start us off because you got a lot of favor dripping. You dripping in favor. I mean, I'm dripping too, but you dripping. You like, we about to slide playing with you.
Anyways, I mean, when it comes to faith and favor, it's all going to come down to like the definition of it. And I'm going to give my definition, not the Webster definition. Mm-hmm. But I feel like faith is something that you have to have the belief. You have to say that I'm believing that this is going to happen, not because I want it to happen or whatever the case might be. It's just going to happen because that's just what needs to happen. So just kind of having that faith is just one of those things where you're just saying that I know this, I know that. And it's kind of like how I talked about in the last one about fighting. When you have faith, you have to fight through some things. So basically, having faith is just having the mindset of saying, no matter what it looks like, I'm just going to keep going. That is the faith. It's just it's the motion that keeps the oil going. It keeps everything in where it needs to be because as in the word says, faith without works is dead. Mm-hmm. So it's like you still have to work towards some things to have faith because faith isn't going to come if you're not working towards what you're really needing. Because it's like, it's so funny that we're talking about faith because that's definitely like Danielle's brand of just faith it because that's definitely her life of just faith in a situation. And sometimes faith is something that's unknown, things that we haven't even thought about, things that just pop up. Because sometimes in life we have things pop up and when they pop up, you just like, do I trust this? Mm-hmm. But you have to have faith in that thing to say that I'm going to see how this plays out. That's having faith just by the little things that pop up your way. And it doesn't have to be so deep and so spiritual, but it's just like even in a natural level, it's just having faith in a person. When a person comes up and talks to you, when you buy a product, any of those things, you have faith that you're putting your money into this product, that you're going to get the results that you need. So it is kind of one of those things of faith is just something that kind of gives you that motivation, that ease to kind of actually want to jump into something and to keep pursuing that thing. Because other than that, you're just going to be like, I don't think I want to do that because I don't have faith in it. So that's kind of where my mindset is when I hear faith. And when it comes to favor is one of those things of where people see something about you. Or it's really where people see something about you. Because it's just like somebody can just come up to you and just give you something randomly. Not because you did anything, not because you deserved it. They just gave it to you because they saw something about you. And it's just like that's how it kind of works within like church and different things of that nature. They always use favor, that God is going to favor your life. God's going to favor this. God's going to favor that. But sometimes the people be like, well, they never tell me that I got favor on my life. But at the end of the day, you still woke up this morning. That's favor. You still are breathing. That's favor. So it's just like when you think about those things, faith and favor, they go hand in hand. Like that, like we were talking about in our last podcast. That's that unit, that unified thing. You have to have faith to equal your favor. That's going to make something way bigger. Because like we said in the last one, that if you keep fighting, you keep pushing, favor's going to find you. Because it's like somebody's going to see your hard work. They're going to see your determination. Because I really want to say favor is going to break down to the characteristics of where you are in life. If people see you at a certain light and they see you in a certain place, they're going to favor you more than the next person. Because they're going to say, I see them differently than I see the next person. I see them staying late. I see them doing this. I see them doing that. Because you've been having the faith to say, no matter how hard it gets, I'm going to keep pushing. So it's like they're going to start favoring you just because you're doing more and far above. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of how those two work together, because it gets hard. And sometimes the faith don't line up with your favor. But you just got to keep working your faith and watch the favor come to you. Like, what do you think about that?
I agree with the working your faith and watch the favor come to you, because I love faith. I love faith. It's my life. Because the Just Faith It brand, the tagline is more than faith. It's a lifestyle. You can't just say, oh, I have the faith. You have to have the lifestyle of faith to have the faith. And I know that may not make sense, but you have to live that lifestyle of no matter what, even when it sounds crazy, because I bring a lot of crazy ideas to you. I don't do a lot of crazy things, but I do some outrageous things that may counter some other believable things, and you like, okay, we just gonna faith it. You just have to faith at that point. But I feel like when you're going through life itself, we already know trials and tribulations are promised to us. It's about how we're going to navigate those trials and those tribulations. And the key to doing that is you have to have faith to believe that on the other side of these trials, on the other side of these tribulations, there is a promise, and you have to stand on that promise. And I feel like that is what faith and favor is all about, because you don't get 5 years in business without understanding there is faith and you have favor, because we did have trials, we did have tribulations, but we have faith to believe that if God gave us a vision, the promise is he's going to fulfill the vision, because he's not a half-stepping God. He completes the work. But in order for God to complete the work, you have to have faith in the vision. He can't complete something you can't believe that he can complete.
Right.
And I feel like that's where we get lost in things. We like, Lord, but why won't you do it now? Because we're asking why won't it happen when we want it to happen, because we're losing steam. We're losing faith. But that's when your faith should grow stronger, because if you feel like you're at wit's end, like you said yesterday, you're right there. Like right when you feel like you're about to break, we right there in the fourth quarter. Come on, game analogy. Right when it seems like the game is over, we got a buzzer beater in our back pocket, and that's faith. Let your faith be your buzzer beater. I need to make that a shirt. That should be a shirt. Let your faith be your buzzer beater. Don't count me out, coach. Put me in. I got a buzzer beater in my back pocket.
That's it. Because that makes so much sense, because it's like you have to hear that final buzz. Because if you don't, you just like, I'm just going to give up. You're just going to forfeit the game. But until the final bell rings, keep going. Like, it's just that simple. Just keep going. And that's how I feel like our year of 2023, that's why I feel like it's going to be a faith-filled, favorable year. Because it's the point of, we've been here doing this for 5 years. And it's just like, when you get to doing something for a long time, you just like, when is it going to pay off? When is my sacrifices? I done put my blood, I done put my sweat, I done put my tears, I done put my money into this. I done put my time, my energy, even when it does not even come into a business. But even in your professional job, how long is it going to take you to go to that next level at your job? Because it's still the point of you sit there, you go through this, you put your time, your energy, your stress, your worry, all of that from that job. But are you really feeling fulfilled? Because that can be another aspect that I think I'm hearing that now, that you need to have a faith filled, you're going to have a faith filled, a favorable year, and then you're also are going to have that key component of getting to the point where you're just like, I'm not even afraid no more. The filthiness is going to leave, because like you're now going to a new place of just like, I'm just going to keep moving. It's no matter how the people may be saying that I shouldn't get this, that I shouldn't get that, but I put in the blood, sweat, and the tears. Why can't I keep moving forward? Because that is another key thing that I just had to come to the mindset of, is that I learned that I was afraid of success. I'm just going to be very blunt and honest with you. Because when you have faith and when you have favor, success is going to follow. But then we get fearful, and when that fearfulness comes in, we have to put that under subjection and say, hey, no, you need to stop. Because you don't need to be afraid of what you've been praying for. You don't need to be afraid of how your faith and everything that you've been working for, and it's slowing you down because that fear starts cooking up. And then now your faith, you feel like, oh, I don't deserve favor. Favor isn't going to come to me. But when you remove that fear, that's when everything else is going to kind of work together. Because it's really that time, I feel like, in 2023 of people just understanding their worth. Because we went through so much, like I say, in 2020, 2021, 2022. We've been through a lot. So we need to understand as a people, what is my worth? And once you understand your worth, that's when your faith is going to be ignited. That's when your fear is going to be diminished. That is when all of those different things are the favor that's going to follow you, because you can operate freely. Because that is the thing that sometimes we let fear take over us.
For sure.
And it's like, why would you let fear take over you when you know it's so much out there for you? All you have to do is be in the right position. And you just got to keep moving, having the faith, having the right mindset, and watch the favor come. It's not even you have to beg for favor. Favor just happens.
Beg for favor.
Because people just do stuff. Like, I've had that opportunity, like I mentioned in our last podcast. I literally went to a conference last year, didn't ask for it. I got into a new program here in the city, didn't ask for it. All those things found me. I didn't find them. So it's just like, when I was positioned in the right place, people knew what I was doing. Like I say, I had the faith to keep pushing my business. And with me keep having the faith to keep pushing, people started seeing what I was doing. So they wanted to be favorable to me by saying, hey, come do this. Or, hey, I think you should do that. So it's like opportunities will come to you if you put in the work. It's just that simple. Put in the work and watch everything fall into place. Because a lot of times I feel like that we try to make things happen for ourselves. We're not really letting go and just moving in freedom, because we're bogging down our mind with, well, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to do this. Some things you need to figure out, what can I control and what can I not control? Because a lot of times the things that we can't control is taking over the things that we can control. So that's how you have to start letting that faith kick in. Like, you know what? I can't handle that. I needed to be working on the things that I can control, and then let's see what happens from that. And then, because those, like I say, those things that are much bigger that we can't control, that's that fear still up there pumping, like, you can't do this, you can't do that. And that's what throws us off gear of getting further, because we just like, I can't do it. It's just too big. But that's not for you to control those bigger things. It's for you to understand, let me control the stuff I can control, and I'll let the favor follow and make it whole all over again.
So let me piggyback off what you said, because the word says we're overcome by the testimonies. So let me just drop this. But I do want to ask you a question that you need to ponder, like need to underline 3 times. What was a point in your life where you feel like faith took over and you were truly able to allow fear to take the back seat? Think about that. Because I'm going to share this moment when you said something of faith overpowering fear. Cardell knows this story, but when I graduated college, right, it was at the height of, I'm aging myself here slightly. It was the height of the, when we were going through the recession, it was like going on. We didn't know who was paying for college, what job you were going to have. It was at that time, like what's happening with the economy. Like not recent, because we're doing that now too, but not like back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Like back. But when I graduated college, I was saying to myself, I know I'm going to graduate with a degree in this hand, a job in this hand. But how am I going to do that if no one is hiring and the economy is like at a standstill? And I kept saying, I will have a job by February 1st. I kept saying that. It's like, I don't want to go this whole year without having a job. So I will have a job by February 1st. It's going to happen. Here's a problem. You have people around you who, I told you in the last episode, they're not on your level of faith. So they're going to come to you with reality. Faith is not reality. Remember that. Faith is not reality. Faith is what you can't see, because faith is evidence of things hoped for. The evidence of things not seen. You can't see it. It don't make sense. Only you believe it, and God knows it. So you have to understand that whenever you have faith, it's fueling you, but the people around you can't see the fuel inside of you. So me, crazy faith-filled me, I'm going to have a job by February 1st. It's happening. It's happening. It's happening. It's happening. It's happening. Right, Jesus? Is happening. We still on the same page, Lord. We still on the same page. Like, I thought we were on the same page, because it's now January 16th and we jobless. So what you doing? And I just kept praying and saying, Lord, I got to the point where I stopped praying for the job, because I'm like, Lord, I'm tired of praying for this job. Like, I got tired of praying for the job, and I just said, okay, Lord, I prayed for this job long enough. I'm just going to start saying thank you for the job, and I'm just going to believe that you already did it, because you had me going through this season for a reason, and those trials and those tribulations, the pandemic, the recession, all of this inflation is building you for the next level. So don't ever take it for granted. It's building you for the next level. That moment of me being doubtful for a few weeks, being fearful, is it going to happen? Listening to the people in my ear, you can't get a job. Nobody's getting a job. Nobody's even hiring. We don't even see help wanted signs. What do you mean? You applying? What you applying for? Everybody's going to tell you why it can't happen. So you have to keep believing why it can't happen. Or you have to keep knowing that it can't happen. It is possible, because all things are possible through Christ who strengthens me. So you have to understand what you were told, what your vision is, and what your plan is. It goes back to episode 1. I believe in my plan. I'm going to be effective. I'm fighting for it. And I know I'm going to follow through. The follow through is the faith. So here we are, January 29th. February 1st, around the corner, Lord, what you doing? I can't go back to tell everybody around me that I don't have a job. I can't do that. I can, but I can't. Because you know what they're going to say? We knew God was real.
I told you so.
I told you so. That your faith was fake. And I can't have them saying your faith is fake. But here's the thing. Because we serve who we serve, he can't have that either. Because God, believe it or not, the word says that he's a jealous God. Can't have no other gods before him. So he can't have the streets thinking I got a real hood. He can't have the streets thinking he's not God. So he was like, January 30th, I got you. So I got a call back from one of these jobs I interviewed for at the beginning of the month saying, I meant to call you earlier. So here was a trigger for me. Let me put a pin right here. Here's a trigger. I was like, Lord, you knew I had this job earlier this month, but you let me go through all these trials and tribulations and tears, and I'm crying and snotting like, God, is it going to happen when you already knew it was going to happen? But he said, I had to let you go through it for a reason, because had you not gone through it, then you wouldn't truly believe that I was able to do it. So you have to understand that no matter the trial, it's still teaching you something. So that was a point where I knew faith is real if you just believe in the faith and work the faith. Now your answer to that question. I'm sorry it took so long.
Oh, no, you fine. Because that made a lot of sense. And I feel like the time for me was when I literally when I left my job and they let me go from my job and I started working another job. And then I kind of felt like, I said, I'm working this, but I still don't feel like I need to be here. And I said, you know what? I think I'm just going to go out on the whim and be like, Lord, do I still need to be here or do I not need to be here? Because it's like, this is like steady income. This is like still money coming in. Like, what do you want me to do? And it really got to the point of, I was just like, I don't know. And so I was literally like driving down the street and then I just heard like a still voice say to me, like, you're going to be a full-time entrepreneur. And I'm like, does that sound right? I mean, and then sometimes when you hear stuff, doesn't mean that it's going to happen immediately. And I maybe heard this like 3-4 months before that whole situation even happened. And then it was really the point of when I actually heard it again, and I'm just like, and I was debating, like, do I go, do I not, what do I do, teeter-tottering back and forth. It got to the point when I was just like, you know what, I think I am going to take that leap. Don't know what that leap is going to look like, don't even know what that leap is going to feel like, but I'm going to take that leap. Because it was the point of when I was really, because it's like, I'm doing this job, but it's not really fulfilling me. And when I actually took that leap, so many things happened. Like, I was still able to, when I got a contract with a bigger company and they wanted me to do a lot more. So it's like, okay, I see why I jumped now. I see why I put my faith in now, because now the favor is following me because I made that faith leap. Because it's the point of, if I would have just stayed at that job, I don't think I would be at where I am today. By all the opportunities that's opening up and different things of that nature. Because like that encompassed the year that me and Danielle joined a program called Launch. We went through that 10-week class. We got a contract through them. And then after we went through that whole season with them, then it came to when we were doing they was passing out scholarships. And we actually was awarded $1,000 during that year. And it's just like, wow. So I guess it was meant for me to actually leave that job, because if I was still there, I wouldn't be able to operate as freely. I wouldn't be able to do certain things because my mind wouldn't be really able to handle everything. Because like I say, I was in my head of trying to control about how is this going to happen? How is that going to happen? But I was just working what I could control. And what I could control was doing what I said I wanted to do, was be a full-time entrepreneur and actually live being a full-time entrepreneur. And it's just been the craziest thing going forward, because like within the last year, last year of 2022, I started a whole new business. So it's like now I'm 2 businesses in. So it's just like, okay, I really see the whole full-time entrepreneurship, because if I was working a job, I wouldn't be able to do 2 different businesses. And both of them still take time. They still take energy, but I'm able to balance both of them and still feel fulfilled all at the same time. Because I really feel like a lot of times we get into places that we don't know how to get out of, because we're just like, this is where I'm comfortable. And with faith, you can't be comfortable in faith.
Oh, well, faith is uncomfortable.
Because faith, like she just said, is so uncomfortable.
Gosh,
it don't make sense while I'm going through this. It don't make sense I'm believing the way that I'm believing. It don't make sense that I'm even sitting where I'm sitting. But it's the point of, you have to be uncomfortable for things to really grow and move on the inside of you. And that's not even like nothing deep or spiritual. It's just in general. Like, if you take God out of this picture and you just say, you gotta believe in something. Faith equals believing. That's the same word. So even if you say, I don't know if I got faith, you believe in something, don't you?
Right.
You believe that every morning you get in your car, it's gonna turn on. That's like having faith. Every time you go swipe your card at the store, you believing that that card gonna go through and ain't gonna be no issues. That's faith. So it's just like you've already been programming your mind, but it's just the verbiage and the word that you're using. So you've been believing in a thing, but you just take that beliefs and added it to your faith and watch everything just fall. Just watch everything move to where it needs to be.
Watch the favor fall.
Right.
Watch the favor fall. That's good. Watch everything fall into place. One thing I want to say, and I don't want to keep us going here for too long, but one thing I want to say to add to what you were saying is when you're like on this journey, you don't realize how much really all those things, like you said, I'm believing in this. You don't realize everything that you have faith in until you start recounting, oh, I did have faith in that, and it did happen. Like, oh, I did turn my lights on today, and they did come on. Like, I did open my eyes today, and look at us. We can see, we can breathe, we can smell. Like, you don't realize the things that you have faith in until you actually start living in your faith. And my favorite phrase here, you ready for it? My favorite phrase here. I am living in what I prayed for.
That's it.
And that is faith. When you believe that you can truly live in what you prayed for, because there comes a point where I always tell my friends, and they say I get on their nerves, but whatever, I believe this wholeheartedly. Do not pray for something that you do not believe can actually happen. So don't come and ask me to pray if you don't believe that it can happen. Because when I pray, the Lord hears me. Send your prayer requests in the comments. Let's have a moment. I feel like if anyone needs to be saved, come to the altar. Come as you are. I'm so churchy. I'm so churchy. But seriously, calm me down. One day I'm going to stop being churchy. Maybe. But what I was saying here is you never realize how much you're using faith on a day-to-day basis. When you go to your job, that's faith. When you go to your home, that's faith. But one thing that I love that you said, you took a leap and it opened the doors. Your one leap opened all these doors. Isn't that crazy?
It is.
You may be one leap away from all of your blessings. I just got excited right there. You may be one leap away. Let me calm me down because I feel some growing. You may be one leap away from everything you prayed for, but it's held up because you are blocking yourself because you lack the belief to believe. You lack the faith to believe, whatever, that your one leap can lead to what you prayed for.
Mm-hmm. And that's so powerful because it's like even the point of when you said that, it went back to my mindset about the Spider-Man movie that I was telling you about.
You and these talking about movies.
Look, I see God in there. When you start seeing stuff in everything that you go through, like I see God in everything.
Come on, Spider-Man. Come on.
But it was the Spider-Man with Miles in it. And Miles could not tap into his powers. He cannot get to the point to turn invisible on cue. He didn't know how to do all of this. But they told him once he makes that leap, that's when he would get past everything that he was holding on to. And my guy was literally on the top of the tallest building, and he made that leap. And everything was activated. Everything was turned on. So just think about how many leaps do you have to make to get to where you're really trying to go. Because I know it's hard. Ooh, it don't make sense. Like we just said, it's uncomfortable, but you gotta leap. If you don't leap, nobody's gonna leap with you. Because when you make that leap, when you make that fall, that's when the favor falls. Like we just said, favor is going to fall when you fall. So that's why you have to leap into something that you're actually saying, I'm putting my faith behind. When I leap, I'm going to land on my feet. When I leap, I'm going to have everything that I need. When I leap, I'm not going to have to worry no more. Once I leap, I'm not going to have to be stressed no more. So you literally just got to leap.
Just leap.
Just leap.
Just leap. We should name this episode "Just Leap."
That's probably what it's gonna be. Just leap.
Just take the leap. Just, what are you doing? Stop what you're doing. Just leap. Because once you leap, it unlocks. Well, not. It stops the fear. I won't say unlocks the fear because we don't want the fear to go forth. Right. But it stops the fear because the leap represents I'm releasing the fear and I'm falling faith forward. Oh, that was good. That was good. That was good. That
You
was
was walking
good.
in the text.
Faith
You was walking
forward.
in the
That was
text.
good. But I want everyone to understand this. The point of this entire year is we want you to walk in your faith field, your favorite field 2023, because it's going to propel you. Once you leap, you're going to be propelled into your future professionally and personally. I believe it's going to grow and it's going to blow your mind. But in order to get to that level of blow your mind, you have to be willing to be uncomfortable, which is what I told Cardell one time. You have to be willing to be uncomfortable, because once you're comfortable with being comfortable, then you're too comfortable. You're not ready for the faith. You're not ready for the next level because you're comfortable where you are. So be willing to be uncomfortable. Take the leap.
Take the leap.
Take the leap.
And if y'all, like she just said, take the leap. If you didn't get nothing else from this, take a leap. Think about where you are in your life and how you can go into your next level of life if you just said, I'm going to hop into this next opportunity. Mm-hmm. Like that job promotion has been sitting there waiting on you to leap forward, but you literally have to have the mindset to say, I want it, or I can get it. Like she said, the faith has to follow what you say. Mm-hmm. Just don't say something to believing in something and not putting the actions behind it. Mm-hmm. That's crazy to me to say that, oh, I want this to happen, but you just saying it just to say it. In 2023, it's not just to say it, just to say it, just to make it sound good. It's the point of saying, when I say this, I want to see what I say. Mm. And once you start believing it, you'll literally start walking in seeing what you say. Because this is, I know, and we're about to get ready to get off of here, but it's the point of, I have literally, and Danielle is my witness, and we're not just saying this just to say this. I've literally have said some things over the business that we have literally seen. I told her last year, I don't know what it is, but I feel like next year we're going to get into a whole nother program. And I don't know, but I feel like this program is going to be bigger and better than the program that we was in before. Mm. Lo and behold, got into a whole program. It was a lot bigger. It was a lot more going on to it. And then we even got more money from this program. So it's like I say, if you just take that leap, the favor will follow. Wasn't even thinking that we was going to get the money that quick, but it came. Mm-hmm. So it's just one of those things. Make the leap and watch your faith in the favor grow so much stronger. Because one more thing, as she said, once you leap, that fear leaves. So you have nothing else to worry about, but just to operate in the favor that's going to come for your life.
Well, amen. And let the church say, amen.
Amen.
We thank you all for joining us for this episode of Evolving You. We hope something was said to encourage you to go to your next level. If you have been blessed by this, or if you have been motivated, inspired, whatever word you want to use, place that there. Please share this with your family and friends and let them know that you are going to your next realm and you want to bring them higher with you, because we don't want to leave them behind. We all want to go higher, right?
Right.
But we thank you all. Please like, comment, and share if you're watching on YouTube. Share us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Pocket Podcasts. We're still on our website, Digital Evolving, Transitioning You, whatever you want to Google them both. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Digitally Evolving. And we're also on your TV screen. If you have the Roku app, download BeSpire TV and click on the Biz and Finance channel. We are on there as well, sharing very, very helpful tips for all entrepreneurs, business owners, even if you're not a business owner. If you just want to be inspired by other business owners, watch that channel. That's the channel for you, right? Right. Until next time, guys, do not forget to embrace your next realm. Bye. Thank you.